Cheetah Robot. Cheetahs are known to be the fastest animals in the world, reaching speeds of about 110 to 120 kilometers per hour and keeping it steady for up to 500 meters. It comes as no surprise that the robotic equivalent is also a very fast robot. The Cheetah robot, developed at the labs of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, can reach a speed of about 45 kilometers per hour. Although it might not be as fast as a real cheetah, it is faster than Usain Bolt, the fastest man on Earth. The Cheetah robot is equipped with sensors that allow it to assess its environment and avoid any obstacles. During lab tests, the Cheetah robot has been able to identify and jump over a series of multiple obstacles of 40 centimeters high, which are double the size of the robot. Heck, it doesn't even need cameras to accomplish that. This robot has always been able to plan its jumps and adjust accordingly, even when it was only a meter away from the obstacle. It seems like this is not only a fast robot, but also a very smart one. The Bionic Copter.
The Dragonfly can recharge the battery by eating 200 flies with it.
And, once again, another creation by Festo. I really want to introduce you to other companies, but the team at Festo is just so good at making robotic animals and the such. The Bionic Copter is one of the most efficient flying robots due to the fact that it is more maneuverable than the others. It's also known as the Dragonfly robot. Although with a body of 19 inches long, it's quite larger than the real insect. However, this robot moves its wings just like the creature that inspired it. This robot can fly to the front, to the back, and make an abrupt stop in mid-air. The Bionic Copter is a great example of what wireless communication can become. This robot can follow commands in real time thanks to its sensors that allow it to assess its surroundings at the same time it receives instructions. This robot is not only smart and efficient, but also very good looking. Its body is covered in blue polyester, which makes it a very beautiful and elegant robot. The Bionic Kangaroo.
See here the Bionic Kangaroo, which is inspired by the real...
When you think of kangaroos, the first thing that might come to your mind is Australia. But also the way they jump from place to place. Maybe kick. And have their young in their pouch. Okay, there's a lot of things here. With the Bionic Kangaroo, the creators have implemented a mechanism of repercussion that allows the robot to recover, store, and use energy with every jump. Just like a real one. The Bionic Kangaroo is smaller than the real one, and is controlled through an armband that tracks the arm gestures of its bearer so the kangaroo knows where and when to hop. This robot, however, is not meant for you to have at home, so don't expect to see it in stores yet. Festo designed it with the hopes of finding ways to use energy more efficiently in the creation of new tools. Since having a pet kangaroo is not really a thing, I do hope they sell this robot to us one day. Butterfly robots. The Butterfly robots, also made by Festo, are one of the lightest robots in existence. They only weigh 32 grams, which is as light as a light bulb. That includes a set of batteries that allows them to stay on for 15 minutes, and a GPS system that helps coordinate their flight. They are kept and tracked in a room with 10 cameras that monitors and guides their flight, which is pretty impressive. They say you can easily mistake one of these robots for a real one even. The creation of Butterfly robots opens the way for the creation of small, light, and efficient robotic structures. Festo is really down to create some impressive stuff. Seriously though, is there going to be any other company on this list that isn't Festo? Well, let's find out. Spot the commercial robot. Oh hey, what do you know, it's not Festo for the first time, this is Boston Dynamics. Alongside Festo, Boston Dynamics is another company responsible for the creation of robots that make us feel like we're about to enter the Terminator era. They developed the Spot Mini, now called Spot, which is a dog-like robot able to perform tasks for its owners. It can climb stairs and move through very narrow spaces where someone wouldn't be able to. It has a set of cameras and sensors that allow it to move through different terrains while avoiding different obstacles and people. Spot is also resistant to harsh weather conditions, and it even has a crash protection system that keeps it safe. More importantly, Spot is one of the first robotic animals with such features to go into the marketplace. Its price, however, does vary. They say it's pretty much like buying a car. You can either buy just a bare-bones structure you can customize, or you can get a fully functional version to which you don't have to put a lot of work in. However, don't expect Spot to walk to your fridge and hand you a beer or change the oil of your car with just the push of a button. Spot owners need to understand what they want in order to program the robot accordingly. Don't think of it as just a robotic pet. It's honestly more of a SMARTBIRd.
Take your seatbelts on. Maybe we'll try it once to fly SMARTBIRd.
The SMARTBIRd is an ornithopter, which is pretty much an aircraft with flapping wings. It was designed by Festo's Bionic Learning Network. The SmartBird can take off, fly, and land by itself, which makes it a very autonomous robot. It's one of the robots that best imitates the flight of real birds. Its wings, in fact, not only flap, but can even twist. An electrical motor in its body allows its wings to move in a vertical way. When you look at it, the SmartBird can fly almost as perfectly as an actual bird. From afar, you might think it's even a real one. The SmartBird is a robot that can help researchers understand the bird's flight better, and even improve the way in which airplanes can be designed. It can also help in the further development of drone technology and other flying robots in the future. The Bionic Ant. The SmartBird is not the only robot that Festo has created. They are actually one of the leading companies in the development of robotic animals. Next on this list, I have another one of Festo's creations, a swarm of bionic ants. These ants that are 13 centimeters long have been designed like real ants, not only on the outside, but also in their behavioral patterns. These ants can communicate with each other to carry on tasks as a community. They come up with a small camera within the eye region and some monitors which allow them to move and perform. They have 2 batteries that allow them to function wirelessly for up to 40 minutes. If the battery runs out, they can step on the dock and recharge through their antenna. Snakebot. Snakes are probably some of the scariest animals out there, but when it comes to the world of robotics, snakes are proven to be very useful and friendly. On this list, I'm not going to choose a specific type of snakebot, but instead I'll introduce you to them as a whole. After all, they all share some common features that make them unique amongst other robots. Snakebots can be as big as a 4-story building, which is the case of one developed by Syntef. Or they can be small and thin enough to enter tissues in the human body, like the medical snakebot developed by Carnegie Mellon University. What these robots have in common is that their ability to get through narrow spaces and transform their bodies to perform their tasks. They are built in chains with independent skills, which allow them to keep functioning even if a part of their body gets damaged. Miro. Miro, which is an acronym for Marine Intelligence Robot, is a South Korean invention by the company Aero Inc. This fish robot has 2 motors and multiple sensors that will allow it to swim in all directions and can dive as deep as 50 meters underwater. This robot is so intelligent that it can swim next to sharks without any issue. The Miro fish has been seen performing stunts like moonwalk swimming and LED light self-luminance. This fish has been shown at different events throughout Asia with an array of customizable skins. The technology behind Miro is so impressive that with 10 hours per charge, its battery lasts longer than in other robots. Although Miro is a big step in the world of artificial intelligence, this robot can also be remote controlled with a camera attached to it.
Flying Fox. We love Festo because every year they invest an entirely appropriate amount of time and money into bio-inspired robots that are totally cool and very functional. Festo calls their Bionic Flying Fox an ultra-lightweight flying object with intelligent kinematics. It's 87 centimeters long with a 228 centimeters wingspan, but it weighs only 580 grams. Flying foxes are the largest bats in the world, and as such, their wings consist of membranes of skin rather than feathers. The wing is separated into primary and secondary control surfaces, which are mechanically coupled together on the upstroke. The primary folds in toward the secondary and extends back out again on the downstroke. Small motors in the body can adjust each wing separately, while a larger brushless DC motor does the flapping. The robot is autonomous, sort of, in that it flies by itself, but relies on a ground station for camera-based localization. And all of the computing is off-board. Festo uses machine learning to optimize the Bionic Flying Fox's flight behavior, such that every time it performs a maneuver, it gets just a little bit better. Animal. In 2009, engineers at the Robotics Systems Lab of the ETH Zurich started to develop a 4-legged robot that can move autonomously and is intended for use in harsh conditions. Animal is now capable of running, conquering inclines, and even pressing the elevator button. With laser sensors and cameras, the robot continuously creates a map of its environment, knows where it is, and carefully navigates through the terrain. This weighs around 30 kilograms, can carry a payload of up to 10 kilograms, and runs for 2 hours on a single battery charge. In the future, the robot, which is able to run, jump and climb, could be used for inspections, rescue operations, or in entertainment. Bionic Swift. The Bionic Swift is a robot bird inspired by the swallow for general technical education. The experimental kit allows independent assembly of wings and tail unit and is controlled by a radio remote control. Through extreme lightweight construction, the Bionic Swift weighs less than 40 grams and thus demonstrates extremely agile flight behavior as an ultralight flying object. Testing should therefore take place in a relatively windless airspace. The experimental kit contains all materials for assembling and operating the Bionic Swift. The additionally available consumable kit, which includes feathers, glue and carbon rods, allows the wing and tail to be reassembled, thus enabling multiple uses. Robotic Butterfly. German company Festo. Such robot is referred to as drone, hence this butterfly is essentially drone. However, unlike the device with 4 propellers, Emotion Butterflies is inspired by the nature. The ability to fly is realized by the moving of the wings similar to the real insect. That is really special. The company Festo used such facilities to demonstrate not only the possibility of miniaturization and lightweight construction, but also the ability of a coordinated robot multi-flying. Infrared cameras sense their position, and on the basis of the data the movement of each of the butterflies is controlled. Plurobot. From the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. Has a salamander's articulated vertebrae, which lets it easily traverse tough terrain. Thanks to a waterproof exterior and body parts, Plurobot is equally at home underwater, just like the real-life lizards this bot was based on. All this, combined with a sophisticated neural network and the individually controllable joints, means this slithering amphibian is a prime candidate for supporting search and rescue missions. Elum. The Norwegian startup Elum has developed a modular underwater robot in the form of a snake, for use in inspections, maintenance, and repair work. The slimline, flexible body of the robot can cross vast distances and also reach places that aren't accessible to conventional underwater robots. The engineers have been working on the snake robot for 10 years and keep on developing it further. The plans for its future include keeping it on the bottom of the ocean indefinitely, at a docking station from where it can launch into action whenever needed. The underwater snake is currently still dependent on a cable, but it is already flexible, and its moving connecting parts make it possible to use the snake as robot arm with mounted tools. Maxon Motor supplies brushless DC motors combined with customized gearheads for the connecting modules. Bionicopter. Bionicopter is more maneuverable than previous iterations of flying robots. With a wingspan of 27 inches and a body 19 inches long, this dragonfly robot is a great deal larger than the insects which inspired it. But in slow motion, its wings look just like the real thing. Bionicopter can fly forward, backward, and stop abruptly in the air. A carbon fiber body covered in blue polyester performance material make Bionicopter a beautiful bug to behold. Spot Mini Dog. Spot Mini has a 55-pound dog-like body with a long dinosaur-like neck and head. Mini's interesting design allows it to keep its head stationary while moving its body below. Its mouth is so sensitively calibrated that it can lift a glass from the sink and put it in the dishwasher without breaking it. Distance calculating cameras and a gyroscope let Spot Mini run with the big dogs, including its predecessor Spot. Robird. The Robird is a drone developed by Clear Flight Solutions. That is good for controlling other birds. The Robird looks and flies exactly like a real raptor would, which makes the natural birds react like they would in the presence of a real predator. The Robird is used to clear runways from birds so flights can take off safely, and to keep birds away from industrial or agricultural areas. There are 2 Robirds built, one looks like a peregrine falcon, and the other looks like an eagle. The eagle is an alpha predator, while the peregrine falcon is the most common predator across the world. Clear Flight Solutions chooses which Robird to use depending on the local bird population. MantaDroid. Researchers at the National University of Singapore have developed an underwater robot inspired by the manta ray. The manta ray is of interest to engineers because of the way they can effortlessly swim through even turbulent seas. Translating this natural solution to a robot allows for efficient and effective autonomous underwater vehicles. The MantaDroid is fast enough to swim twice its body length per second and can remain active for 10 hours. As compared to conventional propeller-based drones, the MantaDroid promises an extended operating period. Potentially, AUVs like the MantaDroid can be used for underwater surveillance. The team hopes to test the drone in the open seas to see how well it can tackle rough conditions.